Hello. So it's been a little while since I've done one of these live streams, and I was actually in the middle of making a video with all of these Convoy lights. But I thought, why not just do it live? And yeah, because I'm not a big fan of editing, and maybe thought I might catch a few of you on live, though it is a bit of a funny time for most of uh, most of you over in the States. But yeah, today I want to talk about a bunch of lights that I own, and these are from Convoy, and most of you be aware of this brand, but wasn't quite sure what to name this video actually, because I wanted people to click on it, but at the same time didn't want it to be too clickbaity. But I would say Convoy overall is one of the best flashlight brands that you can get as a beginner, as an enthusiast, because they just have so many combinations of LEDs, configurations. You can basically just build a flashlight almost from scratch by ordering a few different parts. Very affordable as well. And they pretty much charge wholesale prices on their website. So I wasn't paid or anything to make this video. It's just I have all these Convoy lights out today because I was actually doing some comparison videos and reviewing a couple of my new Convoy lights. So yeah, I thought why not just go live. So yeah, if you're watching along, leave a message in the chats and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing as well, because yeah, I really wasn't expecting anyone to jump on because I haven't planned it. But yeah, is anyone out there aware of Convoy, or do you have any of their lights? And NASA X Space says, is this all Convoy? Yes. So this is basically my some of my Convoy lights. I've got a lot more of them, but these are the ones that I use, that I pick up, on a more regular basis. So yeah, I do have some larger ones too. I've got the M21, what's it called? The 3x21D, which is like a gigantic thrower, but yeah, I barely use that one. So basically there's a whole bunch of lights here in the table, and I've tried to separate them out into kind of categories, and why I would I just refer or suggest some of them to certain people and some of them to others. So the ones on the right here, these are pretty much kind of, I guess they're more EDC, general EDC flashlights, and they come with all different types of metals and configurations. Okay, so probably I started firstly with the S2 Plus, and this host here is probably the most versatile host because it's tiny. I mean, it runs off an 18650 cell. I don't have a battery in it at the moment, but that's an 18650 cell for comparison. And you can undo everything so easily. You don't need any special tools. That's pretty much with most Convoy lights, but you've got this retaining ring there that you can undo and access the driver. I think this one's got a 5 amp driver in there. This cost me, I think this was about $9 US, or in Australian dollars would have been about $13 at the time. So really, I mean, that's less than I would pay for my lunch on some days. So yeah, for a light that has pretty good construction quality, good performance, and you can choose all types of LEDs in there, really can't get any better than that. The only thing I find a bit unfriendly for beginner users is that there's no charging port. So if you're looking for onboard charging, the S2 Plus and the S2, that kind of range is going to be a little bit tricky. So you're going to need to get an external charger. Sometimes what I do as a kind of hack is that I'll maybe carry 2 lights on me if I'm traveling, so that one can just act as the charger. Okay, but yeah, if you're not someone that needs to charge your light all the time, just need an EDC light to bring out with you at night, that's more than sufficient, pretty much. And let's have a look here. Some comments. DK says, my very first order from Convoy was back in 2019. It actually got lost in shipping. I emailed Simon and told him the package had been lost. and without skipping a beat, he said he would send me a brand new light at no extra cost. Crazy customer service. Been a little fan since. And let's have a look here. It was only S2 Plus. Yeah. I think the level of service that you get for what you pay, it really, I was really impressed just looking at all the. I think I found out from them from the old Candle Power forums, or it was from Budget Light forums initially. So Convoy have been around for ages, since I reckon since I was in my teens. Like they were when I first discovered flashlights. They had a pretty good reputation. So yeah, I get some samples from Convoy now, and I think my 16, 17-year-old self would be like pretty happy with with how things turned out. Back in those days, I was just ordering a lot of cheap flashlights, those Surefire clones off Deal Extreme, because that's all I could afford back in the day. So Convoy's been around. They've got a pretty good reputation. And recently, Simon has started his own website, and I've linked it in the description. I don't get paid or anything to do this stream. I just wanted to do it. And I think as an enthusiast, you really just can't skip by this brand. What was I saying again? Lost track of what I was saying. But Simon now offers a 1-year warranty on all Convoy lights purchased on his website. That's what I was trying to say. But that's the micro arc oxidation version of the S2 Plus. It's kind of reflecting a lot of light off my ring light or whatever. But it's held up pretty well. I've had this now for, I think, about a year and a half. There's some nicks and little bumps and stuff on it, but I use this thing pretty much every day. Especially in the tail cap, just some areas where there's some, raised elevated areas. But yeah, I think this has a nice little look. And, for example, they're so cheap that you can get one. That one here's got the orange pill reflector, Nichia 519A. And then that one there is the throwy CSL NM1 TG. So a very throwy LED, long range LED. I think I measured about 350 meters of range with this one, and a smooth reflector. So you can do things like swap the heads as well. And when I was doing a bit of travel over in Europe, I actually carried another light, which is a Convoy S8, which pretty much has a very similar design, except it's more tactical. But you can swap the heads readily. So, for example, if you want to just have a floody kind of light, general use light, and warmer beam, you can carry that along with you. And then you can carry this head with you as well if you need to switch to a more long-range flashlight. So that just means you don't have to carry around the whole heap of lights with you. That's another 20 grams or whatever. So I think it's worth it for sure. And what we got here? Amir says, what will you recommend for everyday carry light from normal to high range? Okay, for an everyday carry light, Amir, it depends. Are you used to carrying around these 18650 lights like this? I think this is a pretty good size. Like to put in my jeans pocket or something like that, I really don't feel much, in my pocket. Okay, so in that case, yeah, like the S2 Plus with maybe a smooth reflector and a throwy LED like the SFT40. This one here. So this is the S2 Plus in brass. And this one here, I'm actually doing a review on it at the moment. It's like, for us in Australia, it's $35 on the Convoy website. So in US, I think it'd be about $20. So $20, $20 and you get this incredible brass light. And, I've got the SFT40 3000K, measured that at nearly 300 meters of throw. And there's also an 8 amp driver in there. So it gets pretty hot after using it on 100%. But I do like that you've still got that ability to use it at 100%. A lot of manufacturers dumb down their lights and just, for warranty purposes, if people are running their lights at, 100% for long periods of time, you're probably going to risk overheating it. There'll be more QC related issues. So yeah, I find they're more conservative and they power the LEDs a little bit lower, but just having the ability to choose 100% on that is great. So, you know, you can also choose a mode grouping that starts at 50%, which will mitigate a lot of that if you're worried about the light getting hot. That's a really good one. If you want something that's a bit throwier, now medium to long range, Amir, I suggest a few of these. So, yeah, probably these ones here. So, Convoy M1. This is 18650 light, and it's got a smooth reflector, a very large smooth reflector in there. This one I've got a green LED, Osram W2. Okay, this is a little bit smaller than, say, this light here, the Convoy M21B, which pretty much has the same head, but the battery tube is larger. It's got a larger diameter. It's got a, you know, longer switch on the end as well. So, and it's heavier. So, yeah, this is, yeah, if you want the, I guess, the longest range pocketable light in Convoy's collection, the M1 is a really good choice, but the head is a little bit larger. So in that case, you might want to opt for this one, Convoy M2, which has a slightly smaller head. Okay, but I reckon it's more comfortable. Okay, so you can keep that around in your pocket. The battery tube's also thicker as well for some reason. Okay. But again, if the heads are too much for you, and a lot of people don't like carrying around lights that just kind of take up too much room in their pocket, you can look at these two. So these are pretty much the same size as the Convoy S2 Plus in brass. Crap. Pretty much same size, okay? But with one important difference, the reflectors are really, so you got 2 centimeter deep reflector. I think this one is, I don't know, I think it might be like 1 centimeter, 1 point something centimeters. Okay, and you might think that's not much of a difference, but it makes a huge difference when you're comparing like throwy LEDs. So if you have the same LED, say you've got a long range LED in this one, SFT40 or Osram W1, W2 versus that one, you're going to get at least another 100 meters of throw in that. So yeah, I personally carry, you can get a little ring that attaches there, or if you're a bit cheap like me, you transplant another clip from another light, but it sort of fits. But yeah, so I hope that answered your question, Mia. J Breeze, M1 or M2? Okay, so M1 or M2? Yeah. Look, I used to carry around the M2 a fair bit, and, you know, with the M1, you can just get that little extra edge of that, just due to that deeper reflector, larger and deeper reflector. And I kind of think to myself, well, if I'm going to be carrying around a light that's, look, at the end of the day, the bezel of the M2 is maybe half a centimeter smaller, I might as well just go the M1. Okay, but if you really want to keep the size of the thing down and make it a bit more comfortable, the M2. But honestly, when I'm carrying around both these in my pocket, I don't feel a huge difference. So yeah, when it comes to performance, I definitely go to the M1, and comfort, yeah, roughly the same. But if you're really sensitive to that sort of thing, the M2. And yeah, the M1A or M2B. I don't have the M21A actually, so yeah, I'm not sure. I actually can't even remember which model that one was. Does it have a larger or smaller head? I might just double check that one. M21A. Okay, yeah, I know this one now. Yeah, so the M21A is basically quite similar to this one here, the C8 Plus. Okay, it's pretty much the 21700 cell version of the C8 Plus, and in my opinion, if you had to choose between this and the M21A, I'd go the M21A because you're going to have to carry around a light with a really large diameter bezel anyway. So you might as well, if you add on another 0.5 centimeter for the battery tube and you get a 21700 cell, you're winning. But if you want to save on a bit of weight and you want to keep things just a bit more compact, you're the C8 Plus. But in terms of the M21B and M21A, the M21B it's just got a smaller bezel, and I haven't found many occasions where I actually carry around the C8 Plus just due to the larger head. I found it kind of annoying, to be honest, but you do get, just excellent long range performance. You can fit it in your jacket pocket or something like that. You can chuck it in your bag, but for the light that I just carry around with me, and it's already bordering that point where it's getting too much, getting too heavy and too large to put in your pocket. And I'm talking about a jeans pocket. Yeah. So, on paper, you look at the M21A and you think, yeah, that one's got better performance. It's, it's going to throw further. It's going to handle more heat. But the question is, are you actually going to carry it around with you? What you're going to be using it for? You might have a bag to put it in and you don't mind not carrying it around your pocket. And if so, get that one. Otherwise, I reckon get the M21B because it's just more versatile. You end up, just saving more room. And DK says, my favorites are the S8 and the M21B. Yeah, I'd say the S8's my most used, like Convoy light. And let me think, what else do I use these days? Yeah, that and then the M1. Yeah, if I feel like I can be bothered carrying around something larger in my pocket. Okay, but yeah, the S8, I've actually got a green Osram W2 in here. So I'm pretty sure I measured over 600 meters of range with this one. So pretty incredible. I think the Lumitop Ant-Man produces about 800 or something meters a throw. So, and you're only paying what, in maybe Australian dollars, like $20 for this one. So yeah, just great value. If it doesn't work out and you don't like it, you can just get another one. So yeah, I don't know where I was at. There's about any people here. We've got about 10 people watching. Yeah, if you like the video, just hit the like button. It helps me to get some more viewers on and spread the news. But if you have questions and stuff as well, just ask me while I'm here, because yeah, the whole idea was I was going to make this video and just talk about each of them, but if I can do it live and give you guys an opportunity to ask some questions as well, whether I can or can't answer them, I think that's going to be better, even though it does feel kind of very off the cuff. We've got, hey Gus, Poly Mathematics, good to see you. Long time. How have you been? And asking, curious, why do you prefer the S8 over the M21B? Purely because it's just easier to carry with me, Gus. I mean, yeah, if I'm going out or something like that, the weight and the attention that this thing draws, depending on what you're doing. I mean, if you're going out to into the city, or if you're meeting some friends, or if you're that kind of thing, and you maybe you're a bit dressed up or something like that, it's chucking this thing in your pocket's just going to be a bit much. But yeah, if you're going outdoors, maybe you're going on a road trip or something like that, who knows, maybe just like a weekend kind of thing, yeah, I'll get the larger one for sure, because in all cases here, you're really prioritizing the portability over the performance, runtime, durability. It's just larger. If you drop it, you're less likely to break it. So yeah, and there's also a few different driver options in here. You've got an 8 amp driver option as well, which will just push the LED in here to the max. And yeah, hope that answers your question. Yeah, thanks Gus. And Steve says good morning from South Africa. How you doing, Steve? It's afternoon here, 4:36. So I don't think there's many people really awake in the States. I mean, you might have some Australian viewers, but actually most of the viewers on my channel are from the States. And yeah, definitely, I do like the portability more on the S8 Plus. S8 Plus, the S8. It's just the light that I'm more likely to carry around with me. And over time, I've just prioritized. I prioritize that. Some people prefer the S6 because it has no branding on it. It's got a very minimalistic kind of look as well. I see where that comes from. But I do like that the S8's got a area where you can attach a proper friction ring there, and it feels more tactical as well. You know, you've got these cooling fins which seem to, you know, maybe serve some practical function. I don't know if it, well, during my testing, actually, I didn't notice a difference in the performance between these two models, but I just feel that it might do something, even though it might not. 9:28 p.m. here in Washington. Yeah, that's it's getting around to bedtime, isn't it? It's been a while since I've actually taken it. I had a little bit of a break from making reviews, went on a holiday, and then I'm coming back. So yeah, and just slowly getting back into things again. I released a bunch of videos the other day, but at the moment, I've got a couple of Convoy lights that I'm reviewing. So today I recorded the review for this one, the brass S2 Plus, and this new Convoy T3. And the T3, the newer model of the T3 now comes with a 5 amp driver and this copper head. So helps with better heat conductivity. And yeah, I think the 1.5 amp driver in the old T3 model was a little bit wussy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you don't care too much about brightness, it's fine. But 5 amps, and if you've got a throwy LED in there, like a NM1, I reckon that this thing could maybe produce 300 plus meters of throw, maybe more than that. So yeah, huge upgrade. And this one here I just thought was such a great deal because on the Convoy site, it's only $35 Australian at the moment. I don't know why it's that much cheaper than the copper. Yeah, I don't know why it's that much cheaper than the copper version, but I think it's yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one to check out if you're looking for something different rather than your normal aluminium flashlight. And yeah, so I've talked a little bit about the S2 Plus models. That's another one that's in titanium. Now, titanium is a lot more durable than aluminium, but disadvantage of titanium is it is just not the best heat conductor when you compare it to other metals like aluminium, copper, bronze, and it also, I believe it doesn't dissipate heat as well because it gets incredibly hot. When I'm using this on 100%, it literally feels like I'm going to sear my fingers or something on that thing. So you wouldn't want to use this light on the high modes for very long. Okay, it's still a metal, so it will dissipate heat, but it doesn't seem to have as good heat dissipation as aluminium or copper, for example. I don't know the exact specifications of the metal. I'd have to look it up, but yeah, just from my experience, it just gets searingly hot there, almost like when you're touching a handle of a hot pan or something like that. Right. What else do we have here? So we've gone through the S2 Plus models. That's a copper one. There also, and by the way, Convoy also do a copper version of the brass. This one here, so you can get it. Yeah, basically in complete copper. And I had the smooth. This is the smooth one, which I thought was really cool. Kind of looks like a sci-fi prop or whatever. Fairly heavy as well. It's about 200 grams, by the way, these copper and brass ones. So you're going to feel them in your pocket, that's for sure. And this one, Convoy also released, I believe, like near the start of the year, the S21G. And it's a nice titanium light, metal button there on the back. But yeah, you're not going to want to run this one as well on really high output. So I believe this one has a 6 amp driver in there. That's the most that you'd want to run through. It gets way too hot, but great durability, looks awesome. Yeah, normally if you want to maximize for performance, so high output, long range, yeah, I'd go for aluminium, copper, brass, titanium for more low powered purposes. Anything below 5 amps, 5 amp and below, you can get by. And got Raj here says you got to explore the world of Firefly lights. I have lights from nearly every brand, and I find that my Firefly lights outperform everything else on paper, and they have the same Lume X1 driver. Awesome. I'll have a look at them. I don't have any of their lights. Actually, I did reach out to them ages back to try collaborate, maybe get some samples, but yeah, I didn't hear back from them. But yeah, I'll have a little bit of a read up on them. So this other model here, which I kind of touched on before, the T3, comes with a few different metals. So you can get it in aluminium, which is a lot cheaper. I think I've got let me just swap over to the, here we go, a little screen share. Yeah, so you can get them in a few different colors. I think that one there, yeah, this must be the aluminium ones up here. Nope, that's titanium, which is the old glossy version, and that has the 1.5 amp driver in there, compared to the new version, which has the 5 amp driver. It's only a couple dollars more. Where is it? Where does it say? 5 amp driver. It's in there somewhere. Here. 5 amp driver. And I think part of this video description hasn't been updated properly as well. It's just got information from the old listing. But it is very bright. It's producing upward of 1,000 plus lumens. And yeah, so that there would be the aluminium version, half price, better than half price, but still with the old 1.5 amp driver. This is a great AA EDC flashlight if you're new to flashlights and you don't want to carry around even something like the S2 Plus, which might be a bit too big for you. This one also takes AA cells, just normal alkaline or nickel metal hydride cells. So I think for the average consumer, if you're getting it for a gift for a friend, especially during Christmas, or you don't want to rely on those 14500 cells, this is a really good option. There's other, I think there's a T4, T2 model as well that has a double AA design as well, so you can get that one. But yeah, let me just swap back to the normal scene again. And yeah, the good thing about titanium is that it's so durable and it's only a little heavier than aluminium. So yeah, if you're not running a high powered LED in there, you might want to consider it. I dropped a lot of my titanium lights, and you pick them up and they don't even have a scratch on them. Whoop, there we go. That just shows. Raj says, is it just me or has Convoy been quiet lately? I feel they haven't released any real heavy hitters since the M21J. Could be wrong. Yeah, definitely. Like I keep in touch with Simon every now and then. If especially if there's any new lights, I ask if I can review them. And apart from the M21J, yeah, there are. He has upgraded some of his other lights with the SFT25R, which is something I want to check out as well. But if we can go maybe I can go back to, yeah, because he actually has his website here. You see all the recently uploaded, so whatever he's uploaded, listed recently on his website, it's up there, and nothing much really. Yeah, so you're right, that would be the last one. He did have some of these coloured models, which I wasn't so interested in personally. If they have like a camo version, I would get, be more keen. That's another one as well. Tactical tail switch. Yeah, but if you go, for example, for the S8 or the S6, you can see there's now an option to get that SFT 25R in there. How much is that going to set me back? $25. $25, and I'm kind of curious to see what the 25R will do. It's a round LED, but I hear it's quite similar to SFT 40, but with better throw and also a more circular, focused hotspot. So $25 Australian, that's not much. It changes around as you flick through the different models. That's the one I have, CSL PM1 F1, $28. It's a green emitter, and from memory it produces about 600 meters of throw in this. It's madness. And yeah, you can see like the different outputs. 5 amps for all these models. It would be good if he could fit in like an 8 amp driver or something like that. The thing is, you can message him and see if he can actually fit in one of those other drivers for you if you want. Yeah, that's the good thing about Convoy, I guess. I'm just not sure if... I mean, they've done it with the S2 Plus. I'm sure they could fit an 8 amp driver in there. But whether you'd want to is another issue entirely. Okay. So, we've gone through all these ones on the right-hand side. I think these are probably the lights for, when you're starting out, or if you're just looking for a light that can be adaptable to various purposes. Okay, because, yeah, they're floody lights, but even if you get a throwy LED in there, you're still not maximizing on that throw because the reflector is pretty shallow, even if it's a smooth reflector. Okay, so I might skip to... Yeah, let's just continue on, maybe around to the left-hand side, actually, because I did touch on these lights a bit before, the S6 and the S8. So, yeah, pretty similar size, like I said, to the S2 Plus, but these have a more almost tactical look to them, and they're more suited for people who want to run throwy LEDs. SFT 40s in there, Osram W1, W2s in there. Yeah, I use these as like a kind of quick and easy tactical light. Switch the UI to make sure that it goes on 100% all the time. They're cheap. I mean, they're $25 for you guys in the States. What's that, like $15 or something like that? So, yeah, great quality. Knock these around a fair bit. And yeah, I've talked a bit about the M2, the M1. We might go... I've talked about the M2 1B a little, but yeah, I find the M2 1B as a medium flashlight, medium-sized flashlight, and I think that's what the M stands for, because you got the S for small flashlight, you got the M, and then you got the L series for the L, L2 1B, L1, that kind of thing. So you have that sort of naming system, but this is a nice mid-range sort of size. It's still okay to fit in your pocket. Great heat dissipation. So many LED options. You can put an LED in there that has excellent range. I mean, I measured, I think, with the with one of my Throwy W2, I think the CULPM1.F1 emitter, nearly a kilometer of throw. So yeah, or you can get an XHP 70.3 high in here, which will produce what, like 3,000 lumens. So yeah, and it's able to handle the current, it's able to handle the heat due to this head and the added, you know, added bulk of material on there. You just need more material on this thing. If you've got more heat, you have to find, you know, it has to be larger in order to eliminate the heat. So yeah, I do find that I really carry this one around though, just due to the size. And what else have we talked about? Okay, well maybe we'll go, yeah, I've talked about the C8 Plus. Okay, this is where we're starting to get to these larger diamond head flashlights. And the M21A is kind of like the, like I was mentioning before, the 21700 cell version of that. Okay, probably better to fit in your bag, but the range on this light will be, you know, much better than any of these other smaller lights here, even the M21B. Okay. So far, none of these lights have onboard charging. This is probably the smallest of Convoy's larger flashlights, the L21B. Quite a famous model. I think people use this as a hunting flashlight, long-range spotting light, and this is, I mean, this thing is a monster. It is pretty big, but with this LED, I've got a green LED in there, throws 1.6 kilometers. I mean, that's incredible. This is almost like having an LEP. It isn't. It basically is a LEP territory, and of course you're making up for that by having this large head. But people like to mount this thing on rifles. You can also add in, I've got another version of this L21B with an XHP 70.3 high, which produces a ton of light and lots of throw just due to the large reflector. So takes a 21700 cell. And yeah, if you don't care about, you know, a light that fits in your pocket, this is probably one of the best ones to get if you're starting out looking for a larger, high performance flashlight. Best bang for buck, yeah, the L21B. Let me see how much it costs, because I'm pretty sure it was about 30 something bucks last time, depending on the model. So it's $43. It's only it's 43 bucks, and it depends on what, I guess, which LED that you get in it. I mean, the SST40 is a pretty basic 2000 something lumen flashlight, but yeah, that would be maybe $30, about maybe 30 bucks American. So yeah, there's also another one, the L21A, that has a larger head, more kind of chunkier head, better for heat dissipation, but this one is pretty good as well. So moving on to some of these ones. Now, if you're someone that just doesn't like the hassle of taking batteries out in and out of your light, and I guess that's more for people who, I guess they just don't like that, or maybe you're not a huge enthusiast, you just need a light that works, that's convenient, you don't want to buy an external charger. These are really good models because they've all got onboard charging here, and yeah, USB-C charging. So you never need to take the battery out if you don't want to. Don't need to buy an external charger. Okay. And what is the disadvantage of this? Well, really, I don't know if there's a disadvantage. Okay, but some people prefer a light that maybe doesn't have these ports. Maybe if you're using them for tactical reasons, or if you're using it you know, outdoors and stuff, you don't want water to get inside and damage the light. That's another potential entry point or a potential area where you could damage part of the light. Okay, if you're, normal everyday person, that's not going to be a big deal. The S21E, I think, is a really good all-rounder flashlight, and especially if you're looking at getting something for a gift or just a entry-level Convoy light. The performance on this one is incredible. I've got a XHP 50.3 in there. So, yeah, I would compare this even to the S21, like size-wise, very similar. Okay, the S2 Plus, but yeah, you notice all these lights with the charging port on them. They come with side switches here. So most of them don't come with a tail switch. Some of them do. Some of them too, but yeah, few and far between. You can also buy tail switch attachments for some of them. But yeah, this one here has a tint ramping function. I've got 4 Nichia 519A LEDs in there. Sorry, 8, and they... What was it? Actually, I can't remember. I can't remember now, but you can ramp it up. See, check that out. See how it changed from warm to cool, and then I can bring it back down again to warm, this sort of yellowish tint. How cool is that? Okay. And that one here, this one here, the M21F, is, I would say, comparable to maybe the M21B. It's just got a larger head. So, yeah, you'll get some extra range out of that larger head, but not a huge amount more. I'd say if you just want the onboard charging, better heat dissipation, side switch, that more classic side switch design, that's a good one to have. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to talk about with those lights. I don't know if any of you have questions as well. I'll answer them while we're here. There's a few more people still watching. We might be watching afterwards. You can leave something in the chats. I've got a bunch of these larger Convoy lights as well, and I tell you what, like this one here, the L21B, I don't use it so often, but when I do, absolutely just blows my mind. So this here's got the SBT 90.2. Okay, and the crazy thing, I just look up on the website. Let's see how much they are. They're about 120 Australian. So maybe, I don't know how much that'd be, $80 US, 70 or $80 US. And the SBT 90.2 by itself already costs $50. So, you're paying another $70 for the host, for, pretty sure they include a battery. Yep, they include a battery in there. And the shipping of all that, I don't think I could put an SBT 90.2 light together with even that amount of money if I bought the parts separately. So, yeah, and some people was funny because initially when this 26800 battery came out, people couldn't fit that battery into their charger, so they were actually buying this light as a second function to charge the 26800 batteries. So, yeah, and come back here, have a look. Gus, headlamps on off to topic. If you can skip this question, do I have any opinions on the Convoy headlamps between the H3 and H4? I'm not really familiar with those. You can look them up and see. H3, one of them's a little more expensive. Oh, that one comes with a battery, I guess. Oops, open link, and then the H4. They look pretty similar, don't they? The H4, the H3. Okay. Yeah, you've got this sort of frosted TIR lens on the H4. Let's see the design. They look pretty similar, don't they? Apart from the the design on the H3, which is more of like a orange peel reflector design. I can't see other differences. There is a clip on the H3, and dual, or you can get a linear driver, constant, and dual. I'm not a huge fan of Enduro. Maybe just the simple UI. I use that. Yeah, look, I always find with these TIR lights, they produce a really nice beam, but on the lower modes, on the lower modes, they don't produce a lot of spill. But I think with this frosted TIR lens design, that mitigates that issue a little bit more, so you do get more dispersed light. But yeah, so it kind of disperses most of that light that's usually focused in the center hotspot of the TIR lens. So that might help. Are there any differences in the LEDs? We get a large, more choice of LEDs with the H3. Oh, you've got this one. You've got the 50.3. Can you still... Hang on. Getting confused. Yeah, 50.2. Oh, I'm kind of leaning. I'm kind of leaning towards the H3. Generally, I use reflector lights more, and yeah, being able to have that now, I'm sure Simon could put that in to the H4 as well, if you really ask for it. You get a boost driver, regulated output. But if you switch, maybe click there. Constant current. Does that mean linear? Does that mean a linear driver? Because if you select the 50.3 high, which I think is a 6 volt, 6 volt LED, it's gonna have regulated output. You'd probably be better off getting the H3 if you don't mind too much about this, this TIR design. I believe the emitter choices are a bit different between the H3 and H42. Yep. Yeah, they are. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I'd go with this one. I reckon I'd go with the H3. And I've never heard of this LED here before. The LMP. What is that? Never heard of that one. Yeah, but I'm a big fan of this XHP 50.3 high. And if you get this one as well, the R70 version of the 50.3 high, this one produces more light. If you don't care about the CRI, you can grab that one, say in 5000K, and all things being equal, it should produce more light than the 90 CRI binned one. You still get that boost driver in there, and it's a very efficient LED as well, so you can run it on lower modes for a long period of time. So yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Yep, no worries, Gus. Yeah, it's one of those things. You know, when you're using a headlamp, you're kind of like, oh, do you need 2,000 plus lumens in the first place? 3,000 lumens, probably not, but it's good to have it. It's good to have it if you've come into a situation where you might have to use it for a short period of time. So, just more choice, really. And if you don't use it, just step it down into those lower modes. So you can't, you can go well either way. So, yeah, I don't know if there's any differences between the headband construction as well. There's no pictures of the headband on the H4. No pictures of the headband. What there is on the H3. How does it clip on? Yeah, you've got these rubber rings. I'm not a big fan of the rubber rings, but at this price point, it's fine. And actually, Joseph from Piercing the Darkness was having some issues with one of the Sofern headbands the other day that snapped off. These, because I prefer those ring attachment those snap-on attachments, just easier to remove, add the headlamp in if you're someone that, you know, installs headlamp often. But yeah, this is fine. If you're not taking it out, just install it. That looks good. You've got that head strap as well. For these 21 or 18650 headlamps, definitely need that headband on top. Otherwise, I find that it starts to fall down your head. Some people also like to counterweight it, so you might chuck in something at the back. I don't know what you'd put in the back, but it's still okay. It's not too heavy. Oh, it is 21,700. Okay, yeah, you definitely need that band on the top. So yeah, that's a cool one. I've not reviewed any of these headlamps. Truth be told, I'm not a huge headlamp person. I've got a few of them and I use them and they're so practical, but I don't know why. I just tend to stick with lights, with traditional flashlights. So yeah, headbands can be improved. Wish Simon would improve them to a clip-on. Yeah, clip-on's good, but especially with these type of lights where they, you know, it comes with a clip. This can be used as a normal EDC light as well. You can pocket that. That's a deep carry clip. So you would see some head lamps that just, you know, they just don't look like lights you'd carry around with you. There's no place to attach a clip. I mean, it's just meant to stay in the holder. But this one, yeah, if it's marketed as a flashlight headlamp, you know, I find that these rubber rings are a bit annoying. Look, at this price though, you can get away with it. You'd be okay. Although if you look at a lot of workhorse lights, they're still using this design, and Ace Beam as well. Not my favorite, but yeah, does the job. I really don't know how they perform long term as well. I'm not someone that continuously uses headlamps, and you know, I wonder how these rubber rings hold up. Do they eventually, you know, over some time wear out quite easily over some parts? They seem pretty, you know, durable when you pull at them and stuff, but yeah. Alrighty, I think that's pretty much, I don't know, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to make a video. I think I've done a real basic comparison, and like I said, these are my most used Convoy flashlights, and to be honest with you, if I was only to pick a few that I use on a regular basis, it would be this one, and this one. Okay. And initially when I got into lights, you know, I was crazy about getting these high powered 5,000 lumen flashlights, you know, 10,000 lumens, you know, more the better kind of thing. But you just end up, for someone like me anyway, you just don't end up using them that often. So yeah, unless you're maybe in areas where you do need long range performance, lots of light, you know, yeah, these ones do me quite well, and I use them. So S2 Plus, S8, and the Convoy T3. So yeah, if you're watching along afterwards and you have questions, leave a comment down below in the comments and I'll get back to you. Happy to answer your questions, or if you are looking for a light from Convoy and want some help, yeah, I can give you a hand with that. Phil says, looking for a absurdly bright EDC light which is waterproof. Nightcore and Rovon have offerings, but I don't think they're really waterproof. Yeah, like I think they're like rated to 1 meter water resistance for a certain period of time. But let me think. The only thing I can think of at the moment is, like, I've got some Armitech flashlights, and Armitech have excellent water resistance ratings on their lights. What was the one I reviewed recently? It was yeah, check out Armitech flashlights, and they all have slightly different water resistant ratings, but the one I reviewed semi recently, I think, was rated at, it could stay underwater for a few hours at a couple meters. So I think that's pretty good. That's probably the best that you're gonna get in a flashlight, unless you want to, unless you want to go for like a diving flashlight. Workos do some good ones as well. But yeah, in terms of absurdly bright EDC lights that are waterproof, yeah, 2000 plus lumens is fairly bright for me. Yeah, check out some of the, I think cultural might know a little bit as well. If anyone has got suggestions for Phil, you might know, because this is definitely not an area that I know too much about. I don't bring my lights really near water. Maybe like fishing. I don't really go fishing much anymore, but yeah, the light's normally just there on my head. It's a headlight or in my pocket. And on the jetty. Yeah. Just thinking if there's anything else. I don't have anything else really to talk about. I hope I answered, sort of led you in the right direction there, Phil. But yeah, probably end this one. And yeah, if you've got more questions later, just let me know. I'll let you guys continue talking. I like my light to survive sweat and also falling in the river. Okay. Yeah, I've got a bunch of Workos lights actually coming in the mail. Just a smaller one, the FC11C, and also the HD01 UV. But they do some great dive lights. Sofern also do dive lights. I'm pretty sure they do like 1 or 2 dive lights. But yeah, Workos do some of them are water resistant up to what, 100 meters or so. And the way you tell this as well, because I do have 1 or 2 of their dive lights, DL02 I think. They have these chunky O-rings. So normally when you look at lights, you unscrew the tail cap, you've got like a little little O-ring there, and that's going to protect it from some water damage. But on dive lights, you've got normally 2 or 3 chunky O-rings there, difficult to screw the light in, and no USB-C charging as well. The battery has to be charged outside, and that's just to ensure that you've got less chance of water going into a weak spot. And even under the head, you've got 2. Everything's all sealed. You can't get into the light. All right, guys, been about an hour. I think I'm gonna end this one, but yeah, catch you all next time. I've got a bunch of reviews that I'm working on at the moment. So the Lumentop, check this one out. The Lumentop, should know this, Lumentop Rainbow, and look at this battery. This is absurd, but check out. Have you ever seen a battery like this before? It's 32,000 milliamp hour cell. This is equivalent to 6 21700 cells. If you have it side by side, it just dwarfs the thing. It's about the same size as some of my flashlights. Look at that. So yeah, I'll be reviewing this one. I'm just working on some of the video shots. I want to get some nicer shots outside, some beam shots as well. And yeah, they made it see-through. It's what an interesting light, eh? What a weird design. Yeah, they got another model. They've got a few models that use these same cells in there. And I tell you what, this part gets really hot when you're using it on the turbo mode. So, I mean, it does help, but also it does worry me that it gets quite bloody hot. And yeah, I think they got the Lumentop Mac as well. That also runs off the same cell. Yeah, a couple of Convoy lights. Apart from that, I don't really have anything else on the way. I might be reviewing some Robivon lights later on. Some of their flat style flashlights. But yeah, if you have any suggestions for videos or things you want to see, just let me know. Shroom and top. Yeah, it does look like a mushroom. Check this out. Psychedelic mushroom. There. Turn off this light bit. Check this out. Tripping out. Yeah. All right. Catch you guys. Catch you guys next time.